Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com and I hope you all are doing well. Today we have another update for the Crafter Stash Away series, which is update number 4. In the last update, if you guys are not up to date, I had completed my traveler's notebook before the month was over. So I completed all the photos I had printed for the traveler's notebook and I simply made all the layouts that I wanted. These actually still aren't all posted yet by the time you're watching this video, but they'll still be going up throughout April, I believe, because some of these are Patreon exclusives. So if you guys were interested in seeing a lot more of Traveler's Notebook or seeing me do real-time videos, check out my Patreon, which will be linked down below. So in the last video, I told you guys I was going to take some time in the upcoming week to figure out what I wanted to do next, which project I wanted to focus on. And we also went over the success I had with this and, you know, actually using up stash, using things new and old, and just using things up. And this was a big deal for me because I share my empties every month in my favorites and in my monthly Kill a Kit videos. You guys get to see if I've used anything up that month, which I think is really inspiring. And I like seeing other people's empties because it's like, okay, wait, I have that. I could use it the way they did, or, you know, it's inspiration to keep going, because once you do finish like a roll of washi tape or a sticker sheet, there is a overwhelming feeling of success. And I want you guys to experience that too, because I experienced it so much here in the month of March. But we do have a little bit of time left in March. And in April, I knew I wanted to start the next project for this series because I am on a roll. I want to keep finishing up projects, and no, this is not assembled yet. I am, however, have the files open on my computer so I can see the timescape of when these happened. I kind of want to put them in order because since this was a theme park, you kind of have an order things go in, right? So I kind of want to put them in that order and prepare for the next set of this traveler's notebook, because as I mentioned, there are more pages in here than the ones I created. We'll see once it's put together if everything does fit. A couple people I was commenting with say they like a fat traveler's notebook, and this one, you know, looking at the stack of layouts here, is gonna be a thick one. It's gonna be. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I did my best not to do too much dimension. And here we are. But, so, what are we going to do next? I knew I didn't want to do another Traveler's Notebook project. That was a challenge for me. I enjoyed the challenge, but I need something different to keep my creative skills in check, to keep my challenges in check. And I'm actually very thankful because the weekend that this is uploaded, there are tons of cyber crops and online crops going on that you can join in with fun challenges, and I want to go back to my roots and return to 12 by 12. Now, those of you who have watched me for a while know what this scrapbook is because it has been in progress probably since 2018, so at least 2 years, and it's still here. Actually, probably maybe even 2017 I started this, and the album's beat up. This has been through some moves. It's been moved 1, 2, probably 3 times. 3 times, which is a lot for one album, I think, especially these ones that aren't the leather kind. They get dented. To be honest, I might move this to a different album one day, but this is, let me flip to a cute page. Hold on. Let's start off strong here. This is my 2016 Disney album. And, you know, I'm sort of in a pickle with this, and I talk about it over on my Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing the behind the scenes of me filming videos, me prepping for videos, me doing additional videos, definitely check out Patreon. That's where it's at. That's where I do all the behind the scenes vlogging. I'm in a pickle with this album because it is already so full. This particular trip was a Disney cruise and then the Disney parks. We did this whole extravagant thing because it was our first time in so long. And we were adults now, so we wanted that cruise life. But we started off with a Disney cruise, which I have in here. And then as time goes on, it gets a little thicker. It gets thicker. And things just hit a roadblock here. So way back when, I did a ton of Disney page planning. in terms of putting my photos in pockets per which page they would go on. So I have some regular 12 by 12s, so just photos in there. I have some pocket pages filled in with some photos that don't have filler cards or titles or journaling yet. I have some done in between, like that one was done for stamping collab, and then I have some that are empty, and then again we come back to some that are done, like this one's done, some that aren't done. So I thought I would take all this pre-planning and just go for it and try to finish all these pages. So on Patreon, I went through, made a list, like a to-do list of all the layouts I wanted to finish up. And I got inspiration from that from Sandy. She had a checklist for the layouts she needed to complete for a certain year in her album, and her regular albums. So I thought it'd be nice to have a checklist for pages I wanted to finish in this album, especially the ones that are pre-planned, because instead of having to flip through this giant album every time to see what's next, I can refer to the list and pick out something that sparks my interest, whether it be stingrays, character meet and greets, pool time, Disney, whatever is sparking my interest. I can come straight into here and do this. But I would highly recommend pre-planning your pages like this. It can save you a lot of time. Instead of looking at a stack of photos, you look through the album on where there's gaps or where there's memories you might have missed telling. So here I did a lot of that, and they are 12 by 12s right now, but I also took notes on what size I wanted them to be. So these ones here that are in this 12 by 12 are actually 8.5 by 11. It's just easier sometimes to store everything as 12 by 12. And then I also took notes on pages I still need to finish in here. So for example, some of them do need journaling, some of them need dates or locations or things like that. So some of these pages do need a little something something or need to be changed up a bit. So, for example, I have a page this way that needs to be changed into a different page protector. On most cruise lines, you will get daily itineraries. So I have an 8.5 by 11 on this side. And on the opposing side, I'm just going to grab it from this side since it's out of frame. I have the itinerary for that specific day. And since these are both 8.5 by 11, I need to switch out this for an 8.5 by 11 page protector. And if you guys remember this layout, it was super fun. To be honest, I don't remember what collaboration this was a part of, but I remember it being part of a collab. But I did get to use some stamping. That's what we like to see. But I've been working on this album for so long, and I think I've come to the realization that the entirety of all the photos that I do have from this trip will not fit all into this album. So knowing that, I think this is just going to be the cruise section. To be honest, it's pretty thick already. It's pretty heavy already. And even just that analysis opens up my eyes to being able to start planning for a second album. I didn't intend to have 2 albums, but again, this was a very long trip. I think the Florida trip in total was 10 days. And this starts at travel. So at the very beginning, I do have travel. So it's going to be like a part 1, part 2 sort of thing. So here's where we are on the ship. Again, these are very, very old pages. It's kind of crazy how old they are. So this is us at the airport, on the plane, you know, the whole shebang we have in the hotel. Before we have Cocoa Beach before, you know, there's all sorts of stuff just going on. And I mix in inserts and stuff. And that's why I think it's important to plan, because you can tell these smaller stories in your large albums without feeling like they need a whole page. So on the back side here is a towel animal story. This side was when we had to go back to the boat because it was going to pour soon. We did get a little bit wet that day, but you know, it's just those little things that didn't need a full page but deserve their own highlight. So far, I think this is still my favorite page in the album. I adore this page. I followed a sketch for it. There's process videos and all that kind of stuff for almost all of these pages, so I'll have my Disney playlist linked down below so you guys can check it out. And if I do have any Disney planning videos involving this album, I'll also have those linked down below in case you guys are interested. But I know a lot of you, like me, are Disney fanatics, so you appreciate all of the Disney inspiration you can get. So I will have those linked down below. So where does that leave us for the next section of Craft or Stash Away? I now have 15 layouts to work on during the month of April and this little bit end of March here that I have to work with. I'm hoping to knock out a ton this weekend, the weekend you're watching this, thanks to the online challenges. In contrast, I don't think I'll be building a kit around this. If you guys, again, are new, you might not realize that I've had a Disney kit put together for this album for probably 2 years, and it is always growing. It is a thick kit. This is only part of it. This isn't even a majority of the papers or the embellishments. I have another embellishment tray full of stuff. But I'm all set. I know I don't need supplies, and if I were able to dwindle this down just a tiny bit, 1 empty, maybe 2 empties, I would be ecstatic. So that's kind of where I'm going with this project, right? It's like, okay, not only are we finishing pages, we're doing challenges ideally, we're stretching our creative freedom, we're not just doing pages to do pages, we're doing pages with the intention of using stuff and completing projects. Because if we're doing projects, we might also be buying new stuff, which we might not need because we might already have the answers here. Like for a fact, I could probably use up this whole roll of washi tape. If it wasn't so bold, I might be able to, but maybe I'll make my own pattern paper with it to use that up. You know, I have tons of ideas, and it's about time I start putting those on paper, if you ask me. So if you guys do want a kit share, I do have one of those, and again, I'll have all my Disney stuff linked down below in case you guys are in the same boat, working on a similar album. But I'd love to know what you guys want to do in April. I know here I'm getting a jump start, but as you come to the end of the month here in March and start looking into April, what projects are you going to focus on? I know my patrons and I have talked about the stuff they're working on. I know I have a subscriber working on a China album she's working on. Like, there are some great projects, and I love talking with you guys about them because I can get ideas from you and we can share our perspectives on it. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little sneak peek of what you might see coming up. We're going to be using ephemera. We're going to be using these like professional photos that you can get on the cruises. We have disposable camera photos. I talked about this with my patrons as well. These were taken on a disposable underwater camera, and they turned out pretty decent, but some of them didn't, so we've stacked a lot back here, but I'll talk about that when I come to those videos or those layout shares. But April's going to be a big month for Disney for me, and I know a lot of us are in uncertain times, and Disney's closed, so I need my Disney fix somehow, and this is a perfect way to do it. So if you're in the same boat, you're missing Disney, whether it's Disneyland, Disney World, or one of the international parks, this is a great way to dive in, put on a Disney film on Disney Plus or from a DVD player, and get to scrapbooking your Disney memories. And to be honest, this isn't all Disney. So even if you're not a Disney person, my Disney kit isn't all Disney products. I have beach and travel themed and summer themed, so you'll see those intermittently throughout this. But I do love a good touch of Disney every so often, so I will be using some of my Disney supplies when I can, just because I am working through all of this type of stash that's for these types of projects. But I can't believe I'm committing to doing more of my Disney album, but this is one of my main goals for 2020 to finish this particular album. But now knowing it probably has to be 2 albums, do I extend the goal? Do I edit the goal to just be finished this album? Let me know what you guys think. We're here, you know, a quarter of the year's over, and we need to be able to reevaluate and reassess as we go throughout the year. So now that you're done with quarter 1, take a look back at your goals that you made. I know I need to take a look at mine. Mine are in this notebook somewhere along with my to-do list, but is this 2016 album going to get finished? So is my 2016 album really practical anymore? And looking at all of these other goals that I have. This isn't all of them. This is just my main 3. But I hope you guys enjoyed this update, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend and enjoying some scrapbooking, as well as lots of family time for those of you who are quarantining and, you know, just trying to stay well. But I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.